flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could remain standing and remember our men and women in the armed forces, those affected by tragedy throughout the country, from here to California. And if we could remember the following local folks: Dana Fortino, Mary McCormack, Florence Sickler, Vito Messina, and Ann Burrow. Okay, first on the agenda we have, I need public comment on agenda items.
Next one.
Michael Joyce, resident of the village.
Yep.
We're
Same place where we were last week.
Okay, wait a minute, we got a couple of things. First of all, I can't really believe we're still going to talk about filters, but they can't hear you in the back. And Justin, do you have any update on the filters at the work plant?
Right now we have.
It's the same as last meeting. I
Yeah.
think.
We're waiting for the test results to come back and formulate the plan for it.
Okay, because I hear you're putting it on the storm damage, that's why I brought it up. Next side.
No,
You're misguided. There is storm damage at the water treatment plant at Walter. But it's not,
There's nothing to do with the filters.
the filters are working properly, we're meeting all of our, I'm sorry, that's probably more your purview, but he could explain that end of it for the testing and whatnot. But as far as from our camera, the filters are working at a proper level that's safe for the community. We are,
I just have one question, and I'm a lay person, and I kind of use common sense. If I went to, and I understand that the water is pure, right? Shouldn't be any issue with why is it brown, except like they're flushing out the hydrants, but still getting brown water every now and again, and that due to a break. Because if I go to the lake and stick my cup in there, it's kind of clean. I wouldn't drink from it, because this and that, but it's clear. So it goes from the lake, through the piping system, through the filter, into the water treatment plant, goes through more pipes to the residential housing, and it comes out brown.
There are many reasons for that. There could be a water,
So the question I'd like that leads me into that is that because the filters are so old and the way they work, the efficiency rate of the filter, is there now mudding in the line? Is there sediment that coated the line? And that's why the water is pure coming through, but it's getting coated by the pipes.
The water is clear coming through. And as it was brought up last meeting, we always get kind of big because we have very fine water coming in the air. And we always wind up getting, I don't know, 0.99% of that one ratio that we always get gigged on because the water doesn't fine. The filters up there, they are 70 years old. The filters are still working. The last test they did, that they had Sawyer, right? Wasn't Sawyer that came through? That came on through. Those guys there, the filters are fine. There is some mud and sludge that are not in the filters, but are left behind because of the storm from the last one we had. And as far as the brown water, every time somebody gets a brown water call, Jack responded very quickly to that. Sometimes it's even as simple as the piping to your house. The piping to your house could be some old stuff coming in there. Am I correct?
Yeah, for the
Joe?
most part, what I'd like to add to that is, when you're talking about smoke conversion, anybody can do it with percolation. It's a chemical reaction
about steel piping with the water, which is a natural thing. We've been working, the mayor, the board's working at, we're addressing that issue throughout. One has nothing to do with the other, the filters, and the fertilization are two totally different things.
With the filter itself, okay? The substance that's in the filter that fishes out gets bad stuff that we all get. Just educating yourself. It's supposed to be like something like rectangular, traps more. Picture that, and that the report is saying it's more rounded, it's so old, so it's not trapping what it should trap.
Mike, I'm gonna give you a suggestion, you can take it or not. I'm gonna give you a suggestion. I'm gonna ask you, at your time, your convenience, let us know when you wanna take a tour of the water plant and even down into the distribution system. We can do that. And that might, I would think that would help. So anytime you want to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Well, the short answer is the filtration system is working out. Is it, whether it's a little older? Yes. But it is working to what the code needs to make. It's meeting all the requirements of the state.
Well, it could be that.
Anything, it could always do that. But if you'd like, just because of the,
Yeah.
they gotta keep the meeting going, if you wanna see me at the end, and anybody
All right.
else who has a question about this, come see me at the end of the meeting.
Well, the only reason why I'm asking these questions are for the older people in the community that have health issues, younger, my age group that doesn't have health issues. We can kind of deal with a little bit of contamination.
Okay.
Older people with health
All right, Mike, if you have the rule is if you have a question,
no-
that's
Oh,
okay.
there is no
contamination.
Can I just
Okay,
say something?
thank you.
I understand what Michael is doing. I know that
I don't.
week after week, you do come up here and ask about the water. He obviously is very concerned because of the water that's
Right.
coming out of his tap, okay? So I get it, I get why you keep asking about it. I think what we want to know, what he wants to know, is what was the result of that report by Hazen and Sawyer? I mean, why don't we just tell the public what they found, right, about the filters?
That report is out there for everybody to read,
Right.
and they can see that the filters were fine. That's the thing that everybody's so concerned about. Those filters are fine. For 70-year-old filters, I hope like hell, I'm 70 years old, I'm as good as those filters.
Gary, but that report is out there and that's not what it said.
Uh,
It said that they recommend changing the filters,
That's right, but they
changing
said,
the
you're absolutely right.
pumps.
But they did not gig us on those filters. There was no
Gigging us?
major issues with those filters.
I say, Steve,
Okay.
this is why it's a problem, right? We're giving information that is half true. The
No, it's not
filters-
half
true.
Why would I
there are
give a
pictures
half
on that
true?
report that show
I'm-
that the filter media is black when it should be white, okay? That the backwash is boiling water over when it shouldn't be doing that. That it has outlived its age. So I guess that's all he's saying. If we're gonna say, you know what, it's old, we need to replace it, just answer him that question and I think he would be happy. But saying that everything is fine, it's not true. It's not fine. It needs to be changed. It's 70 years old.
And if you've been following it,
And
you
we
would
know
know
that.
that
You're
we-
not telling us
We know
anything we
that.
don't know.
Yeah, we know
we
that.
know that we have been working on changing them, am I correct?
So say it
You have a
that way.
plan.
That has been brought up
Plan
now.
upgraded, but as
Yes,
far
I
as the health,
understand, Gary. I
as far as
know
the
you're
health
not
and
trying
safety of
to,
the
I
community
think you
is
just
concerned.
need
All right,
to.
now I got two people talking, counting me three.
That's
I'm
okay,
gonna go,
Justin.
any other
Let the board
comment, any other comments on agenda? Yes.
Quick question.
That's okay. That's all.
Ron out, Harry Avenue. I see on here, we're approving pesticide training. I don't know if this is a typo or are we funding someone's license? The training is needed in order to keep his pesticide business license. I mean, are we funding his personal side job or?
No, he does this for us. We sent him to school originally. Yes, I think it's every 2 years, I think.
So it's a typo then, it's not.
Yeah, that
In
word.
order to keep his.
His
Yeah.
license, as
The
his personal,
village
yes,
is
the village's
pesticide.
license. but
I
he's the one
appreciate
that
you
has it.
seeing that. I didn't even see that. You're right.
He's the one that has it on, yes, yes, so
That
it's
works.
his
He
license.
doesn't have a side job. I don't even know.
I don't
I
know.
know the gentleman. I don't even know if he's in the room.
No, he's not in the room, and I don't know what he does other than works for the village. I don't know.
Okay, he's very generous in doing
Now,
it.
Joe, he's our mechanic, right? So what is a mechanic doing, getting a pesticide work?
Because he had the initiative to say, I would like to go to school, when no one else wanted to go to school, and he does have time to do this, and we need someone to do it, because the sidewalks don't look very nice for a tourist town. So thank you, you're right, that was a typo.
Oh, it's one of the tests, weed control.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's weeds.
But they're using the pesticide, Ron, for
It's for weeds and stuff.
Yeah, it's not for quote pest.
Anyone else? Okay. Next on the agenda, we have bills and claims. $523,597.39. Do I have a motion to pay bills?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jim DeSalle. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Could we have the minutes from the last meeting, which was on August 7th, 2023, approved?
Motion.
Motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jim Ramus. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Storm report. The only thing I have is to tell you, to say to the public is we've had Ward Paving here. They're the county, they're the low bidder for that the county has, and we're entitled to use them, which is a lot of savings of a lot of money by using the low bidder that the county has. They've been here. They've looked at, they're writing up a tremendous amount of streets. All right? Is that accurate? Yeah. Next on the agenda is to approve $30,600 to be used from the contingency fund A1990-1990 in order to pay Arbor Care Consulting for wood chipping services resulting from the storm on the 9th of July 2023, and to be replaced when the bond funds are received. So it'll eventually come from FEMA. The motion should read all of that, how we're going to replenish it. Is there a motion?
So moved as stated.
Is there a second?
Second is Steve.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Town of Highlands Chamber of Commerce to hold a trunk retreat at Roe Park Pavilion on Sunday, October 29, 2023, from 2 to 5, with digital musician DJ. All the paperwork is here, insurance, etc. We have that.
Article it's Halloween, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have two recommendations to become members of the Highland Falls Fire Department from the Chief, Eric Smith, Christina Ingalls, and Matt Troy. Pending, the only thing they don't have is their medical clearance. Other than that, everything is in. If they're approved, they won't become active until the medical clearance. We haven't gotten the medical
I
clearance.
think we have.
You think we have? Okay, so the motion should read, approve these two folks pending.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah.
Next, we have from the fire chief again, Eric Smith. He wants to execute a contract with Orange County for the use of the fire prevention trailer for the Fall Foliage Festival. I think that we should give information.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Fire chief again is asking for permission for the engine 428 to attend the Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Parade on Saturday, September 23, 2023 in Middletown area.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Gary. We want them to bring home the trophy. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have looking for authorization for Tim Green to attend the pesticide training in Auburn, New York on October 12 and 13. The cost is $85 for 2 days, $110 for lodging and mileage to Auburn, New York and back. The training is needed in order to keep his pesticide license. Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have a dispatcher who's been doing very well. His name is Ryan Walker, Ryan Walker. Per the officer in charge, Jason Torpy, he has completed his 52 weeks as a part-time dispatcher to come off probation. I have a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Just had it on
Public comment? Yes.
Go.
I just have a quick question. Are we still in a state of emergency with full powers and everything?
I have not officially rescinded it. I'm not sure about the state or the county. Good question.
Is there an expectation for when that expires?
I'll let you know tomorrow. When do you want me late? When do you want to, when did I say? I'll leave a note in your wife's box. It's easier.
You can get in touch.
Nah, I don't want to call. I'll give you a note.
This is his own man, you can call
Nah,
him yourself.
nah,
But okay,
nah.
his question
Hold
was
on a
this,
second, hold on a
are we
second.
still in a state of emergency? So here's the thing, we've been
I
in
knew
a
there was
state
more
of
to it.
emergency since July 9.
Mhm.
That means that he has sole authorization to actually bypass the board with procurement, with, approving contracts, even changing laws. And I think, Joe, that time of that emergency disaster has passed long ago. And I think everything should be back for board approval in public to actually approve and not at your sole discretion. I mean, that's just good governance. So I would like to see that emergency disaster, what is that, a statement? I would like that to actually be taken off the table so that,
It won't be taken off the table if it's still in effect tonight, but I will call the county and I will talk to the emergency management coordinator, and then it probably will be, I'm not gonna answer that tonight.
but you see what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
right?
No,
I mean, it's
because
not
I don't
that
know
unusual.
what's been approved.
Yeah, it's usually every 30 days.
No, what's been approved?
What has been approved, this is your option as mayor. You can do that, and you did do that.
Nothing has not been brought before the board for approval, number one. Number two, it sunsets in 30 days after you declare it. So you-
Mike, you can have one more question.
You're arguing about it.
Well, no. Yeah, look. And Michael Lewis, member of the village. Everybody knows that the mayor and I have different views. But I'm
Mike, do you have a question for the board? Because that's what it is, right?
Yeah, for you, for you. I would think, for all transparency, I'm saying this to your face, that because of past history, when it comes to divvying out contracts or anything to do with money, to make yourself totally transparent and safe from any repercussions, that it should be left to the board to vote. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
We approve bills, we approve bills every night.
So I want the public to know that the mayor does not authorize the mayor has no authority to sign any contracts for anything, whether it costs money or it doesn't cost money. Not one contract has ever been signed without board approval at a public meeting. We've never had a meeting where we took votes in executive session, not once in 30 years. Not one time. Every dollar that is spent is on one of the first things we do with bills and claims. The board knows this. I'm not telling them anything they don't know. So the comments that were made were inaccurate. Okay?
No, they weren't. They weren't inaccurate.
No.
You were
Anyone else?
convicted.
Is there anyone else? Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I would just note for the record that states of emergency, the purpose of a state of emergency is to dispense any kind of emergency with competitive bidding. It doesn't mean that you just have to sign the contracts. It just means that you have emergency work that has to be done. You don't have to comply with section 103 of the General Law, which requires generally to go out and pay for everything.
Such as, and here's a perfect example, and there's like a lot of examples. Browns Hill, washed away. The following day, I gave permission for John Jones to get gravel, go get gravel. We don't have a stockpile of gravel, he had to go buy gravel. What is it called, gravel, I-4, whatever that stuff is called. Yeah, I did that. That was an emergency. So, yeah.
And you did not, the way it allows you to do is you did not have to go out for bids
Right.
and get 3 bids.
No, it's an emergency.
Because it's an emergency.
Thank
Right.
you.
The
And is
question
there anyone
is
else?
it still a state of emergency? That's
Did you
all
have
people
any-
are saying.
I
Right?
was just
No,
curious.
you're okay.
Yeah, I was just curious if the state of emergency has any correlation to whether we are receiving funds from FEMA or anywhere else.
Well,
Is there any-
that's a great question. If I heard you right, it's tough tonight here. No, it's okay. In order to get FEMA, we had to declare. If we did not declare, then probably FEMA, I don't know, FEMA wouldn't be here.
Okay.
Is that what you asked?
Yeah, so do we need to stay in a state of emergency in order to continue
No.
that process?
No.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
And no one's changed any laws unilaterally either. I don't know where that
Well,
came
that's the answer. That's the answer. Okay,
Well, the
he hasn't
point
done
is
any.
that-
But no one's changed any type of village code or state
And
law.
you're not
Whatever
abusing
you
your
guys come up with.
authority, so that's good. But the public has every reason to question it.
Okay.
It's not that laws are
So
changed.
it's.
Elise, can I hear you?
It's not that laws are changed. It's that you do not have to comply with state law 103 on competitive bidding.
That's a
Typically that-
problem.
So this board
We'll
has
change the
no
law.
authority to change
Not comply.
state law.
That's a problem.
Change
That's
the law.
okay. You already said you didn't change or buy or did any, and now the question is, it's almost a month and a half later, can we rescind that so that everything, that we comply? We no longer.
We are
give that sole
compliant.
authority.
I know that's an
State of
important word, but we
emergency,
are.
So, okay, all right.
To
That's
say
the
we're not in
question.
compliance is not right.
A
Thank
state
you.
of
don't have to
emergency
comply. That's the
sunsets.
wording.
Thank you.
My goodness, okay, we're going in a circular argument. That's all, the question is, do we need?
Okay, do you have
this
anything?
Still, oh, yes, you don't wanna go first? You don't have anything? Oh, and you want me to go first, okay. So the building department report,
last,
very
I don't
good, it's
really
going
care.
very fast. Well, you wanna follow the agenda, you're supposed to make a comment first. You wanna do that?
Do you have
or not?
anything?
I do. Well, you want to, okay. Yeah, always wanna go on that. Okay, so the building department report. There's 22 permit applications that was received. There were 14 permits and 6 certificates of compliance that was issued. Phil actually conducted 18 building permit inspections outside of the red and yellow tag inspections from the flood. He didn't do that by himself. Dorothy did that, Justin did that, the engineer did that as well. But, you know, he was out there. And as mentioned at the last meeting, there were 9 homes that were actually destroyed and 84 homes with major damage. So we're waiting to hear, and I asked Justin before we came here and we heard, so I guess now, if individual homeowners will get assistance from FEMA. As of today, there are only a couple of sources that people can apply to, and that's RUPCO and HGAR. And I understand people have complaints about it, you know, that they have very prohibitive requirements like income requirements and what is actually lost or damaged. But really, that's all we have so far. Okay, outside of the FEMA application that we did for the municipal, which is for infrastructure. I also really want to mention the 2 nonprofit organizations that came here without us asking to come, and that's Samaritan's Purse and Team Rubicon. So particularly Team Rubicon, I did have a lot of interaction with them. It's a veteran-based organization, so and they are headquartered in California. But they called on many veterans from around here to actually help, and a lot of them did. And they didn't get paid, they didn't get any benefits. Many of the people who actually came used their own money, you know, to stay here, travel here. They stayed here for 2 weeks. They collected trash, debris. They rode around in trucks with the Town of Highlands sanitation department. And you know, what they're asking for is for you guys to, if you can, if you have time, visit their website. It's teamrubiconusa.org and SamaritansPurse.org. If you have money to donate, they always ask for money. They didn't ask us for anything. They didn't ask any of us for anything. They just showed up. But if you make charitable contributions at the end of the year, consider those 2 organizations. And they're also looking for volunteers. So you can sign up as a volunteer on their websites. And also a shout out to all the people who volunteered at the Sacred Heart, the American Legion, the Holy Innocents. We have a list here of over 200 people so far. The list was put together by Sally Dorsch, Monique Wolf, Lee, and Kristen Manning, and there's a lot of people. They put their time and their effort and the needs of others ahead of them, and really, we hope to somehow get in touch with all of them so that we can send them a little of gratitude. Okay, so the last thing is this bonding issue that I talked about at the last meeting, right? So we bonded $6 million. The town approved bonding for $20 million, and I'll explain what that is, okay? The town they need $20 million to repair all the damages there. We need $36,500,000 to repair all our damages. What the town is doing is they got approval in case FEMA doesn't come through to actually start preparing to bond to repair all those damages. If we had to do that, we would have to bond for $36,500,000. So we're hoping that FEMA comes through, right? If FEMA comes through with the amount that we're asking for, which is highly unlikely, we still have to come up with 75% of what we asked for, of 25% of what we asked for. So that's a lot of debt. After the Honora Cragston water main project is done, we're going to be close to $19 million in debt. Okay, that's if FEMA helps us. If FEMA doesn't help us, I don't even know where we're going to get that money from, right? And people are saying, well, it has to be done. Of course it has to be done, but we're not prepared for it. I've been saying this for 2 years now. You can watch every village board meeting that I've been to, which is every 2 weeks of the past 2 years of my life here. been living beyond our means. We can cut spending. There are many ways to cut spending. We can start by not paying $500,000 of your money on a local dispatch when we can be paying zero, okay, by going to Orange County Dispatch. That's a start. The second is we can have one police department instead of two between Fort Montgomery and the village. We can have one Department of Public Works instead of two between Fort Montgomery and the village. All of those, if we had started that decades ago, we would be able to absorb this kind of catastrophe a little better. But now we're starting at a very, very high level, and we're adding more to that debt. And guess who's going to pay for that debt? You will. And now I hear it. I already hear it. Trustee DeSalvo is going to say it's not all in the form of taxes. You know, it's separate from water and sewer fund. Okay? But it's just meant to confuse you. Because it is coming from the same pocket. All three. It's coming from your pocket. Okay? In the form of taxes, in the form of water bills, in the form of sewer bills. Okay? And guess who sets those rates? The five of us. We set the taxes, we set your water rates, we set your sewer rates. We borrow money under your name, okay? And we've been kicking the can down the road by refinancing debt over and over and over. And this new debt that we just acquired, we've been paying only interest. We haven't even been paying principal. And we can keep kicking that can down the road for about 5 years, where we pay nothing to the principal. So guess what happens to that principal? So it's an issue. And I'm here to tell you, there's ways to cut spending so that we don't get to that level of trouble.
Jimmy?
Yeah, just a couple quick points on what you said. So the town board okayed $20 million in bonding. It's right here in the Town of Highlands newspaper that, you know, they have districts in the town, districts. And when we consolidate, the town has said we will have districts in the village because the town residents are not going to pay for our sidewalks. They're not going to pay for our lighting. So we're going to have a lighting district, we're going to have a sidewalk district, we're going to have road districts, we're going to have water districts, we're going to have sewer districts. So, with that being said, there's going to be $2 million that is going to cost the town to fix their sewer plant down there. And that cost is going to be the burden of 385 residents in the town. That turns into $5,194 per parcel. Of those 385, the other people that aren't in that district, they don't have to pay for that. So if we were a district, or if we were all, how would I put it, consolidated into the town, Ondiora Park right now would be paying for that water project. Nobody else in the town, in the village would. Ondiora Park would, because they would be a water district. Same with Satellite Grove. There are benefits to being a village where we all help share the cost. Now, we know we live in an old village. We live in an old village. You can't deny that. My house is built in the 1800s. Things happen. Yes, it's going to take time. It does take money. But we have to be honest with everybody. Is that what we want to do? It's been hashed out every election cycle about how we should consolidate. We have consolidated some things which have helped, and we do find areas where the consolidation didn't work as good as we thought. That needs to be worked on. And we will work on that as the town and the village have a better communication, which I think has been transpiring over the years. That's all I got on that. I do want to give my wastewater report though. So the wastewater treatment plant for the month of July now, it's kind of overwhelming. We had 15.9, almost 16 inches of rain in July. Unheard of. The plant capacity for that month, we did 1.283 millions of gallons of treatment. The plant can do 1.35. So we were underneath of that, which is good. The facility down there, amazing. The guys that are working down there, We're meeting all of the speedies permit limitations. They've been at Bellwood and Webb Lane pump stations, they check them regularly, they're operating good, even after the floods. There was some road work that they had to do, they got in there, worked on access, and we're back up and running for access to all those pump stations. Also, pump 3 went down for 1 day. That was on July 6th, so that was before the catastrophe. It was out of service for 1 day, it's back up and running, we have no problems with that. And again, working together. The sewer department guys, the water department guys, the DPW guys, they all work together to get the village roads back up and passable. So, there's one other quick thing. Assemblyman Ekus sent out a palm card. At the last meeting I talked about sending out postcards to our assemblymen, our senators, the president, our governor, whatever. I talked with a few people. They are getting some bullet points together. Hopefully, if we don't get anything heard real soon about the individual assessments or the municipal money from FEMA, I believe we need to get these postcards out. Mr. Ekus said he's out there, he secured $3 million. I don't know if anybody out in the audience got any money from Mr. Ekus' thing yet. I don't see any hands out there. So his number's on here. If you want to check it out after, to give him a call, please do so. And just, you got to shake the tree. You got to keep telling them, look, we're waiting patiently. We're waiting patiently for this money. We need it. That's all I got. Gary?
Evening, everybody. Just a couple of quick things. Update on Bob Meadow, the work they did up there, but now that item 4 down from Mount Hope, a lot of that did get washed away. Our guys have been replacing with the extra item 4 down there, so they've been doing a good job on that. I was up there checking it out. It looks pretty good. Trustee DeSalvo and I went when we finished up, and it was really good, but they some washed away. And it's still passable, it's still all right to walk up there. Just be very careful, especially when you're driving up there. And, you're out with your dog, keep on a leash. Just, a couple of complaints that we had in the past that, people are just up there running them up. So just please be careful. We had up there about Meadow also, at this time last year, we were about 75% full. So with all the rain and, the heartache that we had in the village, we are at 100% full. We're still running off the Cascade. So the water plant, the work around the tower of the water towers are almost complete down there. Still going to finish the shell, correct? And that's it. It looks really good. Thank you to your guys. Everything's fantastic. It's going to be something that's going to hold up to the test of time for a very long time. The way they redid it by putting the new items in there as far as the concrete poles and stuff like that. Worked out really well over there. And then Trustee Ramus and I brought up before, I haven't had any feedback. We are allowed to receive upgraded LED lights in Village Hall. So if your areas, you think that you need some new lighting in your area, it's not going to be blasted because we're neighbors. It's not going to be as bright as they are on Main Street. There's different lumens that we can look at. But if you need, please shoot us an email and say, hey, my street needs, we would like to have a little more light in our street or whatever the case is. It was underneath the 2% program through Orange and Rockland, and that we can wind up getting 20. And because of COVID and everything else, they probably going to have to owe us probably about another 20 more, correct, Mr. Mayor? So they're going to owe us quite a bit. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you, Gary.
So just, if anybody does want one of those LED lights on their street, and you do want to email us something, either to Gary, myself, the mayor, anybody on this board, go out and get the poll number and give us the poll number too. That'll help expedite the process.
And the streets is on, please.
Jim?
Yeah, just a couple quick comments. First of all, thanks to some of what the board members were echoing, the volunteers during the whole storm, and also the employees, both village and town, you know, DPW, sanitation. It's a lot, and they're still weeding through everything, and our crew at the DPW is stretched. The town's DPW crew is stretched. So as we continue to, you know, dig out, like a lot of individual folks, we appreciate everybody's patience. If you see something or you think there's something not right, come to a meeting, give one of us, call us, email, whatever. A couple quick little tidbits. The police department for the town. You know, we talk about consolidation. I don't even know why we're talking about consolidation tonight, but it was brought up. That's okay. Everybody's allowed to bring up what they got to bring up. But it should be noted that there are some months where there's 50% coverage for the town. It means 50% of the days aren't covered for a month. So they're able to get away with that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I said they're just, because of their conflicts with scheduling, they're able to do that because there's a full-time PD in the village. In fact, the editor of the News of the Highlands quoted the chief in a meeting that he was requesting full-time officers. Because that model down there, it doesn't function to its maximum capacity like it used to. When I was on the town board a long time ago, it was great because it looked great on paper. You know, it looked fantastic. It's a cheaper way to try to bring police to your neighborhood. But that model has changed. COVID changed it, and just New York in general. Folks retired, and those retirees left, and they don't work part-time now. So that was a good core of those part-timers are retired folks, retired officers. So they have their own issues down there with their police department. Not to take away from the fine men and women that work down there. Now the constant gloom and doom on, now we're not even sure, I'm hearing tonight from the board that FEMA's not going to cover the 75%. Like, we got to be careful what we say. Because nowhere have we heard that FEMA's not going to cover 75%. Now, why the town decided to float $20 million in authorization, that's their prerogative. You know, I have great faith in Justin and Todd, who work for our engineering firms, and they did a lot of work with the folks from the local gal from Montgomery with FEMA and dishes. Yeah, they did a lot of work, and I feel extremely confident that exactly what's said in the paper by the current supervisor. He says we're roughly going to be on the hook for $5 to $6 million, which is exactly what we authorized, $6 million. So, will we need a little more? Maybe. Have we spent everything we've authorized? Absolutely not. We still have 3.4 in new water infrastructure that we still have to decide as a board if we're going to move forward on. It was authorized, but we didn't spend it. Again, just be careful we're speaking to the public. And on top of that, as the supervisor also stated, we're still waiting to hear back from the state for 12.5% coverage that the state can do in a time like this. So, I understand we're constantly running for office, but eventually, once in a while, we should just probably act in the position that we're in. And we are doing the best we can with what we got. We had no anticipation of a flood coming. We had no anticipation of having this authorized $6 million in infrastructure improvement. West Point didn't know that it wasn't even prepared. They're seeking $150 million.
And they have received, as of yesterday, $53 million.
Which is good.
And that's fine.
Yeah. But the point is nobody's. That's why they call it like a tragedy or a natural disaster, because you don't necessarily plan for it. So those are my comments. As we continue to get more information, especially about the roads and everything, that we have contractors come look at, they looked at everything. I think they looked at everything from Brownsville to any other section of the community. We're going to present it to the public. We'll have to vote on it here. There's no hidden agenda. And during budget time, we can always talk about every department, like we always do. So those are my comments.
This is not the right way for me to do this, but these 4 folders, you can see handwriting. Each one of them is a bullet. Each one only has 1 line. That's all the damage that we know of as today that has to be fixed. It's not just 5 roads, a little bit of my sewer plant, and we all go home. It's a whole lot more.
Are we gonna have an
I normally
eventual,
don't, I'm sorry, huh?
are we gonna have an eventual compilation of a list of everything that's actually being repaired?
Eventually, have a compiled list of what roads we're gonna do.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
itemized
Yes.
all the
Absolutely.
things?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried.